back to Inside Politics, Kenya's premier Sunday morning political broadcast where we dissect the biggest political and policy issues in the country. Our top stories today surrounding the relationship between President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy. The president there asking the deputy to resign if he is tired. We're also talking about the latest on the BBI train and member states electing Karim Khan as the ICC's chief prosecutor. Speak to us on the top stories today. Our numbers are on the screen. You can also tweet us at KTN News Kenya. Let's pick a call now from Gian Wahome, who is calling us live from Kisumu. Gian, good afternoon. What are your thoughts?
Good afternoon, Michelle. Thank you. And say hi to the panel. Will do. Let me go directly to the Ruto factor and the Ruto, the Deputy President Ruto. And I want to echo what Dismas has said, and he has really put it very well. We are not visitors, and neither we are strangers in Jerusalem. We know what the DP has been doing, and I think the Deputy President has been taking the Kenyan electorate. He has really taken our forgetfulness. Because we were in this nation when the war on corruption was ignited by the president. He was in the forefront defending the corrupt. We were in this nation when a fake assassination claim was made when he was made, and he put it on the administration that he sits in. We were on this nation when he sat on the same podium with his political troops that decided to insult the president and the family. And he never said anything. We were also in this nation when he defended the likes of Echesa, the likes of Waititu, the likes of Sonko. Why is everybody who is having integrity issues finding himself in one corner and one pillar of a certain individual? Those are the questions that the country should be asking themselves. Let me talk about this idea of the likes of Karoli using Raila being in government as an excuse of them defying the president and the administration. I want to remind Karoli and others that Raila Amolo Odinga is not and cannot be compared to William Ruto. We were in this country when Raila Amolo Odinga fought for the second liberation of this country. Most of the privileges and the freedoms that we are enjoying in this country, even the positions that the DP is sitting today and enjoying and fighting the same administration, they were fought by Raila Amolo Odinga. I want to remind the people that because of the Courageous Act that Raila had to face the regime then today we are having multiple tickets. So the people who like making political capital in the name of Raila Odinga, they should now have a new narrative in 2022 and not Raila Odinga. Lastly, Michelle, there are people, the deputy president is allied to, and his bloggers are celebrating about Karim Khan being elected as an ICC prosecutor. And we really welcome this news as a nation. I want to remind them that Karim Khan is going to be the prosecutor now. So there is nothing like a rating. We are sitting in at a very wonderful period. And these are wonderful times that we should watch in days to come. Thank you.
All right, many thanks. That is Gian Wahome. He is calling in live from Kisumu. Let's also listen in to Fred Nyambache calling in live from Voi. Fred, good afternoon. What are your thoughts?
Michelle, thank you for having me. First, I want to issue of public participation vis-a-vis the BBI. Your panelists have well articulated this quite well. I've seen the realists and the idealists. The people like the Karoli, well, he's really telling us a lot about what the law says and so on. But the reality on the ground, Michelle, is that people have taken positions. And for me, from where I sit, we can do this country a lot of favor if all the countries the passing or rejection of this BBI. Because the truth is, we know certain areas, they'll obviously reject this constitutional bill, not based on the content, but based on their political persuasion. So it is better that we expedite this and then we get over it, because I don't know whether public participation involves leaders asking the people, is it the BBI that you want or wheelbarrows? And people shout back that we want wheelbarrows. I think there is something really wrong. So the reality on the have made up their minds. Let it be done as soon as possible so that we go back to work.
All
now,
right.
back to the relationship between our president and his deputy. Mm-hmm. Before I forget, I want to send Karoli, please, to talk to the Deputy President, William Samoei Ruto, His Excellency. We love him as our Deputy President. This is our country. The issue of him becoming, for example, President should not be a matter of life and death. If this country burns, we shall all burn in it. We don't have any other country. Karoli Kipchumba telling us that the President and the Deputy should sit somewhere and then they agree, I think it's mischievous. I think we see the narrative that is being peddled around. You hear the Deputy President side saying, this is our government, so we are not moving out. We formed this government. They are taking very hardline positions, even Jubilee. This is our party. Murkomen said the other day, we shall not get out of our house. If it is so, we shall bring down the house. Some people take doors, others take iron sheets, and so on. I think that talk is not good for this country.
All right.
And finally,
very briefly,
I think the war, the drums of war, I think we should lower for the sake of our country. The events that have occurred in the last few weeks attest to the fact that we are on the wrong track, and if we do not get back on track, we may burn our country. The environment is so toxic. People have been so radicalized. Some issues, the cases like Idurai, the Bama, the Osoro and Bazazarati, Mudama. The other day, Mohammed Ali went to the parliament with a gun. Yesterday, most annoying, after the president had asked, maybe even somebody is not happy with how the government is performing, we saw the deputy president, the way he was dressed in his yolo. For me, as somebody who was going to a psychology class, spoke volumes. Right. The way he was dressed, he was telling somebody, and that would only mean that the people in authority who would be the president, that here I am, I'm not moving. Sisongi, Sibanduki, that attitude is not good, Michelle. Right. I thought after the president called out the deputy president, I would have expected the deputy president to keep quiet so that the political temperature is lowered. So okay. I want to thank you so much, Michelle, and I hope this discussion that we normally have on your Wati TV station, we shall take it to another level. It should not end at this level, because what is happening in our country at the moment, honestly, for all intents and purposes, is not good.
Absolutely. Fred, many thanks for your comments. That is Fred Nyambeche calling in live from Voi. We also have Onesmus Machoni. He is live for us from Mombasa. Onesmus, good afternoon. Your thoughts, please.
Yes, good afternoon, Michelle.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead, Onesmus. We can hear you.
Yeah, I want to know the marriage between the president and the deputy. And you see, I saw yesterday the deputy minister was claiming that most of the time that he's not in contact with the president. But you see, those people who work with the deputy president always disrespect the president, and the deputy president does not demand them. That also tells you that there is a contest between the deputy president and the president. So this now is what we call the political companionship. As somebody is claiming that he is in line with the president, but the listeners are behaving like there is a contest, and it does not represent them. And then with the case of Karim Khan, you see, going to ICC is not something you should anticipate But you see some people, mostly the Tangatanga, are now celebrating that the Karim Khan is the helm of the ICC. And you see, it means that they know that their leader is also having some queer characters that they may end up with the ICC. So that's what we see.
Okay, Onesmus, thank you so much for your time. He is live for us from Mombasa. And finally, from Nakuru, Rose Wandia. Rose, good afternoon. Very briefly, your thoughts, please.
Thank you, Michelle. Number one, I want to comment about us as citizens of this nation. Thank you, Michelle. Number one, I want to ask us as citizens of this nation that we ourselves must be sober and refuse to be divided by the whims of the politicians. And it is us as citizens to make a demand on the political leaders to be sober. From all those, they should be politically express sobriety even as they politic. The power that the leaders exercise, they do it on our behalf as the people of Kenya. And none of them should brag about it. None of them should suppress us with that power. And this is a demand that must be communicated to them by the people of Kenya. We must stand up and say this power that you are bragging about belongs to us. We have given it to you. We should not fear about it. And this should be from the MCAs, from the MCAs, the members of parliament, up to the top. They must know that the power they enjoy belongs to us. Number two, on the impeachment of the deputy president, for the sake of tranquility and peace in the country, regardless of what he is doing, regardless of what others are saying about him, the impeachment of the DP should be done away with, because it will create a great rift among the citizens. Truth be told, there are those who believe in him outside and even in parliament. Notwithstanding the attacks on him, we must know that 90% of our politicians are also not clean. So let's not
purposes of time, we'll have to wind it up there. Thank you so much for your comments. That is Rose Wandia calling in from Nakuru. Let's wind up this conversation. To my panelists, 30 seconds each. Roslyn, your final comments from what the viewer has to say.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Seeing the viewer is actually resonating with what you've said, we still appeal to our leaders that this is not the time to put us against each other. They can sell their views, they can be issue-based, but they should not be ethnicized. We should not be put against any other person as we go for the elections. To the MCAs, this is your time. This is your time to engage the public, to be able to understand the bill, because the honors are on you to ensure that when the people finally go for the referendum, they go for what they understand.
Absolutely.
And then also to the political class, we saw a very unfortunate incident yesterday where the deputy president put out a tweet condemning one of the radio stations. I think this is a dangerous path to take. You cannot suppress press freedom, even if you don't agree with what is coming out. You are a national leader, and you expect all leaders to respect that. You can voice your concern, but you cannot condemn the media.
Absolutely. Dismas, your final comments, please, very briefly.
The appeal is to Mora, Wanjiru, and Nafula to treat populist leaders with contempt and call them out. These are the populist leaders who are coming up with toxic politics and coming up with all manner of interventions which are not consistent with our national and public interests. And then number two, again, we must call out leaders who have invested in booing other elected leaders. Like what happened yesterday in Isiolo is unacceptable. We cannot allow political leaders, if they don't like their colleagues, to come up with mobs to start booing people. It's said that every person must be given an opportunity to speak and air their views, and this will be done in silence. Let people come and air their views. If you don't like them, you keep quiet. Or if you don't like them, you take a walk. And then finally, public participation will be successful in Kenya if and only if the elected leaders and public servants go to those meetings with an open mind.
All right, Bigamba, very, very briefly.
Well, after the tincture of mistrust between the deputy president and the president has been going on for a long time. Right now it has degenerated into now political conferences through the media. I think it is proper that the Deputy President now gets to simmer, to cool down a bit after the tongue lashing of the President, because with his incessant incorrigibility, future historians will find very good pages for him as a leader who did not want to cool his heels and serve as Deputy President and wait for the time to come for him to demonstrate his ambition. And the other thing with regard to referendum, I think the proper thing for county assemblies to do is to ensure that regardless of the positions they have taken, regardless of political persuasions, they get to engage the people and have the people informed, because that's the most important thing.
All right.
So that personal positions should not be assumed to be the positions of every person.
Okay, many thanks, Bigambo Kipchumba. I'm sorry to cut you off because of time, but we've been speaking to Roslyn Obala, who is a senior reporter with the Standard, Javas Bigambo. He is a political analyst, Kipchumba Karori, political strategist, as well as Dismas Mukua, who is a political risk analyst. Many thanks for watching Inside Politics today. It is Kenya's premier Sunday morning political broadcast. My name is Michelle Ngele of Yambo. Do stay tuned to KTN News. More news coming up at Weekend at 1 with Ashley Mazuri. Good afternoon.